All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're still in section 6.3, but now we're going to synthetic division, which I think you're all going to really like. So without further ado, let's roll. All right, so first thing you have to know is that it's going to always be set up like this. You're going to have a little box up here, and you're going to have a line. All right, so as long as you have that, that's how you start. Now, the rules, okay? Now we're going to see, you see the x minus 7 up here? Imagine if x minus 7 was set equal to 0. First thing you have to do is you solve for x. So plus 7, x is equal to 7. Now, the reason we did that is because 7 goes in the box. All right, step number 1, know what goes in the box. All right, 7 goes there. Next up, we put the coefficients of this polynomial right over here. So 1, 1, and that's negative 56. So 1, 1, and negative 56. And we'll get into placeholders on the next video, but this is all we have to do right now. Okay, so just to review, if we set that equal to 0, we get 7. 7 goes in the box. So, for instance, if I had x minus 5, what would go in the box? 5 would go in the box. If I had x plus 2, well, what would go in the box? Think about it. Negative 2. Right, because if we set that equal to 0, we subtract 2 from each side. So that's how you figure out what goes in the box. Get rid of that right now. Now, otherwise, what we need to do is synthetically divide. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this polynomial, I'm dividing it by this. So real quickly, let me go ahead and write this over here. X squared plus x minus 56, and we're dividing it by x minus 7 to see what it equals. Okay, so this is the process for synthetic division. Take this first number here, it drops down. Then you take this 1, you multiply it by 7, and that goes right there. And then you add. You get 8. And you take this 8, and you multiply it by 7, and you get 56. You add, and you get 0. Now, what this means is that there is no remainder. All right, so x minus 7 goes in evenly. So no remainder. The other thing is we are left with a polynomial. Now, this is the tricky part. If we divide this by that, what do we get? Well, we took this x squared and we dropped it a degree. Since we divided by x to the first, we dropped it a degree, which means x squared, if you take 2 minus 1, it becomes just x. And then that's going to be the constant right there. So our answer is x plus 8. So one could deduce this, that x squared plus x minus 56 is equal to x minus 7 times x plus 8. And agreed, if we factored this, this is what it would factor into. These are the two factors. They both go in evenly. Okay, so that was the first example. It took about 3 minutes. Every other example should go a lot faster. Okay, so first things first, what goes in the box? Well, if it's b plus 8 right here, I said b plus 8 equal to 0. Let's subtract 8 from each side. B is equal to negative 8. So negative 8 goes in the box. Some of you can probably do that in your head already. That's fine. Next up, we put the coefficients. So 1, 16, and 64. So now I have everything set up. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop the 1 straight down. 1 times negative 8 is negative 8. It goes right there. We add and we get 8. 8 times negative 8 is negative 64. We get 0. So another clean one, no remainders. They go in evenly. So then my answer, since that's b squared, and I took it down a b, just a b here, and that's plus 8. So b squared plus 16b plus 64 divided by b plus 8 is equal to b plus 8. I think you'd agree. If I took this right here, and I factored it, it's the same thing as b plus 8 and b plus 8. So hopefully that makes sense. Just like if I said 12 divided by 4 is equal to 3, and 12 is equal to 3 times 4. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, next one. What goes in the box? What goes in the box? We got a 2. Oh no, hang on. Got hit by. There you go. 2 goes there, because if I have p minus 2 equals 0, I add 2 to both sides, and that's what goes in the box. Whatever gives you the 0. Then I put my coefficients. So I start with 8, then negative 18, then a positive 4. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the 8. 8 times 2 is 16. We add and we get negative 2. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. We add, we get 0. So p squared got dropped down to power, so it becomes 8p minus 2, and that's your answer. For credit for homework, you're going to have to show me the box and all that work right there. That's really all you have to do. I do need to see this as well. All right, number 4. Actually, no, we're going to skip number 4. Let's go on down to number 10. All right, now number 10 looks a little bigger. We're going to be okay. Now, what goes in the box first? If I have x plus 1 equals 0, I subtract 1 from each side to get x equals negative 1. So negative 1 goes there. Then my coefficients, 9, 18, 18, and 9. So nothing less to do but synthetically divide. Drop the 9 down. 9 times negative 1 is negative 9. I add, and I get 9. 9 times negative 1 is negative 9. I add, I get 9. 9 times negative 1 is negative 9. I add, and I get 0. Now, this is all well and good, but we have to know exactly what we did. This is the highest degree, all right? It's the 3rd degree, and I dropped it a degree by dividing it. So then once 1 less than 3 is 2. So I start with x squared, then I go to x to the 1st, and then I have my constant. So what is my quotient here? It's 9x squared plus 9x plus 9. And that's what we get for number 10. For number 11, what goes in the box? Negative 4. I have 3, 16, 26, and 40 up there. I'm going to change my color here so that now I can go ahead and synthetically divide. Drop the 3. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. I add, I get 4. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. I add, I get 10. 10 times negative 4 is negative 40. I add, I get 0. Once again, this is r to the 3rd. I dropped it down a degree since I divided it by r. And this is why, by the way, r to the 3rd over r. Rules of exponents, the division property here, is we take these two and we divide. So if I have r to the 3rd, that's r times r times r. One on the bottom, one goes away. How many am I left with? 2. So otherwise, 3 divided by 1, or 3 over 1 in this case will be 2. So now, this is r squared. There's an r there, and then 10. So my quotient is 3r squared plus 4r plus 10. Okay, that one is done. Last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and copy down the negative 2, because if r plus 2 is equal to 0, the negative 2 goes in the box. 9, 9, negative 10, and 16. I'm going to drop the 9 down. 9 times negative 2 is negative 18. We add, get negative 9. Negative 9 times negative 2, keep your eye on your signs, is a positive 18. We add them, I get a positive 8. 8 times negative 2 will be negative 16. I add them, I get 0. So that's a 3, brought it down to power. So we have r to the 2nd, and then r. So my quotient here is 9r squared minus 9r plus 8. All right, so you're going to finish numbers 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 on your own. Thank you so much.